Final game in the trilogy, the world of Dark Souls, finally finishing the story of this tragic world. We return to the land of Dark Souls 1 and 2, going full circle and finishing this burning world. Releasing March 24th, 2016, this game was in the works since Dark Souls 2. There's been so much love and care put into this game, like all the other Souls games that have come before it, but selling more than 3 million copies in the first few weeks. I am ready to begin the finale of this trilogy. In the games before this, everything was bad. Undead were roaming the earth, kings and queens holding on to their last bit of control. But you know, you could see there was some hope of it getting better. In this world, everything is just and castles crumbling to dust. And solely just because people keep rekindling the flame. The first flame trying to preserve whatever bit of the world and somehow keep the status quo. But all it does is just make things worse. The world awakens, trying to get someone to rekindle the flame. One more time. Awakening Lords of Cinder and Ashen Ones. An Ashen One, someone who has tried to rekindle the flame but failed miserably. Their mission to try again, rekindle the flame, collect the Lord souls, ones who did rekindle the flame and the world brought them back to rekindle the flame once again, but they're like, nah, I'd rather not, seeing their efforts were in vain. Already, I love this world and lore. It's a continuation, but the amount of times the flame has been rekindled is unknown. You get to see old areas crumbling to dust, broken right in front of your eyes. And my main man, Dingus, is ready to take this on. With the merchant class, I put my precious boy in the world. I cleared through the tutorial, didn't give me any trouble. The big frost litter did kill me once or twice. And now on to the first boss, Gundry. I don't have much to say as I wrecked him in my first attempt. But I did think his transformation was sick, even though the damage I did was crazy. I do like having the whole taking the sword out of his heart to activate the boss. I definitely see him as a challenge for newer players who've never played a Souls game. But since I've been on the high of Bloodborne and all the other games, he falls way too easily. Bye-bye! Now, Old Firelink Shrine is... And wait. Move! What's up, big dog? My goat Andre has returned. Oh, and yeah, the Firekeeper. She's cool. I love how this game has so many callbacks to old enemies, the Black Knights, the Death Knights. If I see my boy Gavlin or the latter NPC, I'm gonna freak. Firelink is, of course, the hub world. You level up, Andre levels up your weapons, and Estes Flask, Witch Lady who sells us items, and NPCs come here over time. One thing I am noticing though right off the bat, it's not like Dark Souls 1 where it's very interconnected. You do have to teleport to each area, but it's not that big of a deal. And at the Firekeeper, I see how to level myself up. The stats are almost identical to the ones to DS2, except thankfully they got rid of the stupid ATP. Human is also here, but that's also used for FP. And one more thing, Vitality and Endurance. I still don't know why they separate these two stats. It doesn't make any sense. And also here, of course, there's the Dark Souls normal of the one who has given up entirely and wants everybody else to loathe and pity with him. Also, right off the bat, we get Estes Flask, and we immediately get 3. Thank you. They learned from DS2. But now we must journey forth. Rip, there's an enemy to the side who has an Uji Katana. I'm definitely killing him. Thank you very much. I really wanted this weapon. Because I'm telling you right now, I'm not going to do a strength build this game. All the games before have been strength build, except really Demon Souls. That was more of a faith build, but it played like a strength build. I'm not going to do a strength build this time. And on to Lothar we go with my samurai sword. Damn! Why is this area so hard? Like, I'm on the high of killing Gundry first try, and I was just like, man, I got this. As soon as I hop into this world, I am humbled immediately. Dragons, high-level knights, locked door. I thought I was like that, but turns out I'm just not. I do like how Dark Souls 3, there's a lot to explore in each area, but every area does feel like its own place. Nothing is interconnected. Like, you teleport to every area, but unlike in DS1, where everything loops back to each other. It feels very disconnected, but I think that's because of a lore reason, because of time and everything just folding back into each other. So you're going to find everything in this area, and if you don't explore, you can't even move on after the first boss. And the first true boss, Vordt of the Boreal Valley. Someone cooked here. Not boss battle wise, very standard boss, does ice attacks, runs around. Second phase starts doing quick rushing attacks and short AoE ice damage. Fun nonetheless, but easily. I entirely mean the music. Like, you enter this boss with the mindset of, oh no, what did I just get myself into? And then phase 2, you know what, just listen. This is only the second boss in the game, but they're composing this orchestra like they're trying to revive Beethoven. Now, like I said earlier, this area makes you explore, because if you didn't get this banner from this old lady, you actually can't continue the game. I wonder if anyone has just given up at this bridge, like, bro, I don't know where to go. There's nothing else. I wonder how stupid they must have felt. To the undead settlement. The part of the area when I'm just casually walking and then I get sniped out of the sky. Thanks, game. But after a long trek, we make it to the old Great Wood, and the boss, you gotta squeeze his balls. I'm serious, that's what you do, and then you cut his hand. This boss took me 2 tries, but the whole fall to the ground gave me a mini heart attack when that happened. Now, taking the other direction, we journey on an elevator with a friend. Oh, you're a Knight of Katarina. I remember, y'all. And he's so nice. He helps destroy a demon, and then he... And that leads us to our very next area. Oh, my favorite. The Poison Swamp level. The mandatory Poison Swamp area of Dark Souls. Slow and steady while I'm slowly losing my sanity. Ooh, cool sword. So during this area, I found the Artorias Greatsword. And I know how I said earlier I wasn't going to do a strength build, but this is like a dex strength build. I can use this okay for now, right? Once I get the washing pole, it'll be fine. I'm just going to use it for a little bit, just a little bit. I mean, strength is just so much fun in these games. Just hitting so hard and just ugga and dugging, and especially with the additions of the special move ability that they have added. It makes it so much fun. The Uji Katana did have Iaido moves, and I think that's so cool. But Artoria's straight sword just gives me a shoulder ram with it. My painful experience in the slow insanity of the swamps let me get to this Crystal Sage, who just spams magic at my face and then runs away anytime I get close. Then clones itself and runs away more. After the Crystal Sage, I honestly forgot where to go, and I randomly stumbled across the next area. I do remember in this area the DLC was starting here. I see this man groveling on the ground, and he asked me to take his hand. I get transported to Disneyland, but we'll put that on hold for now. The old castle with giants, more slow movement. Oh, cool, another Katarina Knight.
I am a knight.
Oh, you also must just be as friendly as the other guy. Wait, why is your voice so different? And why do you want me to cross this area with treasure? And why are you so nervous? It's Patches, isn't it? Yeah, of course it is. You know, I know your fucking game. I know your game, but I'm gonna cross the bridge anyways. You're a bitch. But after giving obviously baited, the next boss, Deacons of the Deep. An interesting gank fight as the Deacon becomes a different priest every single time, and then eventually fuse at the end, and they start healing each other, but also me, which is weird, but no matter, they die all the same. One thing I've noticed about exploring this game though, and especially at the poison swamps, is there's really high enemy variety, right? In the poison swamps, you got all these different enemies, dogs, these people who are trying to cut you up, these giant Godzilla-like creatures that I'm not gonna mess with. They look like mini Vicar Amelias, and I don't need to deal with that. There's also just enemies that will take their own life. They're gonna rush at you and try to blow themselves up. There's these burning towers that's blocking this door I passed earlier, and getting rid of the fire opens the door, and the first true lord, the Lord of Cinder, the Abyss Watchers, aka the Jumpening. These Abyss Watchers are past ones who have lit the flame. They follow in the steps of Artorias, fighting the Abyss, but they saw all their hard work meant nothing and the Abyss was still corrupting people. And having getting up fighting, some have lost their sanity to the Abyss and end up fighting each other to the death, trying to stop the spread of the Abyss. It starts with one Abyss Watcher coming at you, and then another, and then another. Wait a minute, he's fighting for me! Let's go 2v2? That's such a cool idea. A part of the boss is just fighting with you. And after you murder these watchers, they fuse with fire and start attacking with a flame burning sword, bodies to a crisp. But his moves are very similar to what he did in phase 1, so it's not that hard, you just have to play it a lot safer. And with the first of the 4 lords defeated, well, technically 3, as one of them is already here chilling, who also gives us boss weapons. But one thing I do want to cover is that all these bosses, I've beaten with 1 or 2 attempts. Now, I don't want to blame Dark Souls 3 for saying it's too easy, or this or that. I think it's just a matter of, I'm too good. Now, I'm not saying I'm some godly gamer, but I've been playing all these games back to back. The challenge kind of fades, like hopping from spending hours fighting Cause to this. I think that's just natural progression. I'm so used to these mechanics in games, it's no longer this challenge. I know how to optimize builds and easily get there. It makes me think, were these games ever hard, or is Miyazaki just wanting us to really learn and explore the worlds around us? We can't just mindlessly fly through the game. We have to spend time finding new weapons, knowing the best possible options, reading item descriptions, really be immersed in the world. And if we don't do that, of course the game will be difficult. So, is Dark Souls even hard? Yes, of course it is, because this next area can go burn itself alive. The catacombs, skeletons, and more, and anything but you! Spirit Halloween has taken over. And nothing stays dead here, but there is this old NPC friend who wears the DS1 armor, and oh dang, she's lost her friend. You know what? I will do anything I can to find your friend. Nothing bad is gonna happen to you. But the next boss, High Lord Wulnir. One of those giant bosses, you just break his cuffs on his hand and he takes massive damage. But one thing I do find really cool is since this is an Abyss creature, that's made to fight the Abyss does more damage since he is an Abyss creature. And I just thought that was really cool. Now, with the small doll I got earlier for killing the deacons, we appear in Ithriel of the Boreal Valley. This area is so cool. Other than the Bloodborne dogs chasing me. And this high priest ready to run the fade immediately. You do get to pick your path, as you either go straight to Pontiff Sullivan or you skip around and go to Yorm. I started with Pontiff and was like, oh, this is where the difficulty spike goes. Pontiff is this game's Ornstein and Smo, a boss that ramps up the difficulty to show, yeah, it ain't sweet no more. His long strings and damage is super high until we get to phase 2 where he clones himself and the smoke comes out as quickly as possible. You'll have no time to get hits in, especially with a strength build, since he can recover so fast since you're dodging him and his clone. Honestly, my one question is though, why didn't you give him Vordt's theme? Like, it makes way more sense for him to have Vordt's theme and Vordt to get Pontiff's theme. Like, it would just be so much cooler. But after finally getting humbled, I then go fight Yorm, and I hate this area. I hate this area so much. It's just a Diddy party. You're just running around and they're looking at you, and it just makes your health disappear. And the cages and the prison cells. Why was Diddy here? But that does get us to Yorm. Now, he's the Dark Souls fight of grab the wind weapon and go to town on him. And wait, my goat, he's here! Obviously, throughout the course of playing this game, I was finishing his quest. And the absolute final part of his quest is he fights with us against this boss. Now, does this trivialize the fight? Yes. But was it hype? Very much so. Of course, I let him get the final attack and took a cheers with my friend. So, back to where Pontiff was, and this area leads us to tragedy, and only tragedy. Anor Londo, and all I see is pain. Is this what you wanted, Gwen? Your giant dead, your son or daughter, turned into a beast eaten by someone else, and no, it can't be. I said I would find your friend. I said I would help. Just pure tragedy in Anor Londo. And the boss of this area, Aldrich, Devourer of God. This boss just spams magic until you die and then teleports away. But their magically actually hurts. It feels like a harder crystal mage, especially those arrows. Having Radahn's arrows in a small room is kind of difficult. But killing this monster, we get no, not again. Ah! Oh, hey Emma, how are you? Oh, that good, huh? And you are immediately thrown into the dancer. No time to heal, no time to think, no time to do anything. With all the souls you just had, I was freaking out so much trying to pop a homeward bone as quick as I can. I was like, get it, go. Luckily, dancer isn't very aggressive in phase 1 unless you hit her, so you have enough time to get out of there. Coming back, phase 1 seems slow and easy. You just dodge around those few hits, get a good few swings in. But phase 2, she starts being crazy, hitting those 10-hit combos. She's doing strings. If you can't dodge right mid-combo, you will just die. But, I mean, it's as simple as just dodge in a lot. So, I knew what to do. Now, at this point, I knew how close I was to the end. So, before I continued to the main quest, I chose to do a lot of the side content and side bosses. So, after Dancer, I went down in this next area and... ooh, he looks like a Bloodborne dragon, and he is just straight tweaking about his son. Ooh, bro, he doesn't even exist. Get over it. Osiris. Right, the next boss in this game. Honestly, he really isn't that hard. He does give me a cool emote that I wonder why a boss is giving me an emote, but he's super simple. Easy boss. And further down this area, wait, why are we in the starting area? Oh, this is kind of cool. You get to go back to like the starting area and fight a lot of higher level enemies, and then at the end there's Gundry again. Oh man, I know I beat him in the first try, but Champion Gundry.
He's different, man. He is a menace. If he wasn't nerfed, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Sword ain't even the worst part. The worst part is the hands and his legs. He keeps kicking me with them like every 5 seconds. I'm getting punched or kicked. Like, bro, chill. But he ain't gonna sugarcoat it. Every time I dodge and I think I get a clean behind the back strike, he just kicks me in the face every single time. But once you beat him, there's a Firelink shrine with some really sick high-level items and ooh, eyes. Oh, hey, Firekeeper, I know you wanted some eyes. I know you needed them. Now, backtracking really far, after this, I go to the Burning Lake. Now, this area can be a 20-minute in-and-out adventure, straight to the boss, Josh the Diamond.
giant worm, or 1 hour of pain and suffering of just wandering and wandering and wandering. But the old Demon King is the next boss. I was definitely over leveled for this. Felt a little too easy, and even his fire barely did damage to me. But again, that's probably because I had no idea where he was originally, and then I just absolutely pounded him. Back to Lothric Castle. This area is really quick run past the knights and dragon, and oh, this boss looks sick. Ornstein? Man, how many times do I have to teach you this lesson, old man? Now, I don't think this is Ornstein, but it's just the armor. And again, even with all these buffs they give him, it's just not as cool without Smo. But he is fast and right into the pain. He is literally just the same boss as I always fought, just heavy attacks that are just going to knock a lot of damage out you, but are very unsafe for him. And then immediately we go into the next boss, the final Lord of Cinder, the one who refused to kindle the flame. Lorien and Lothric, the twin princes. Lorien starts off easy, but he starts off running up straight to you and teleporting every 5 seconds, hitting with a high beam attack. Once you knock him down through the easy dodge timing, his brother comes now for phase 2. He does about the same things but with more range, and if you kill Lorien without killing Lothric, he will get revived and you gotta fight him again and again. Now, I did use a summon, but I thought the summon was an NPC summon, so I was like, oh, NPC summon, let's go. And I don't think it was, because I was using the Sun Covenant, and I think this was someone from the Sun Covenant. Now, I kind of wish I didn't, because I didn't get the full experience of the fight. As someone came in and helped me, and after the fight, I felt like I could have done it myself, and I should have done it myself. It was still fun nonetheless, but summoning that NPC almost took a little bit of the enjoyment away. I would have felt better if I really had to struggle and do it all myself, that I deserved to win, and that I didn't just have someone else who's already done it come in and get the win for me. Now, I know I said I was going to do all the side content, but there was one that I just wanted to save for last. As people say, this is Dark Souls at its best. Now I don't get 30 comments going, you should have done the DLC, you should have done the DLC, you should have done the DLC. Let's hop into the painted world of Arendelle, the same world in DS1, the frozen tundra filled with the unwanted and abandoned. I'm not gonna lie, first DLC was kind of boring. It felt way too quick. I ran through it in maybe 2 hours. Like, I ran through, found the gate, ugga-dugga, found the prison, fought the knight, freed the girl, and on to the final boss of the DLC. But you may seem like, that seems kind of rushed for your review, but that's exactly what it felt like for me. In and out, 5-minute adventure. For detail, I mean, there was the Gravekeeper and Gravetender boss, which I think was really cool, fighting that giant wolf, but it wasn't that interesting because both of those enemies I've seen in the other world. One was a normal NPC, one was a giant wolf. The Frida girl at the beginning, she's pretty cool. You kind of talk with her, she talks about things, and then at the very end, you get to fight her as the final boss. This is a cool boss. First phase, she does stagger really easily, so you can just bonk, bonk, bonk. She does disappear and then try to crucify you. But then you go on to phase 2. That creature in the back screams at the top of his lungs, Father Arendelle, and helps her with fire. You get like a cool fire and ice combo as you gotta fight them together. It's just like a cool iteration of Ornstein and Smo. But take the fire dude as he is slow, and if you're like me doing a strength build that I never dropped, you can do full charge attacks and really get a lot of damage on him. Now, if there is a phase 3, I'm walking out this door. Nope, 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 I'm done. I can't do this. Nope, nope. Life gets black flames and she starts to range you and hit you with frostbite everywhere. You know what? Maybe I'm gonna do this later. You do meet this painter in this DLC, which sets up everything for the next DLC and makes it 10 times better if you understand her story. But the second DLC, the Ringed City. God. This place is so cool. Now, when you play this, you do need to think of the DLCs not as 2 separate DLCs, but as one. The Frozen Capital leads right into the lore of the Ringed City. You are in Drung Heap, the true end of the world, and Gale, the man who brought us to, well, Disneyland, directs us and tells us it's okay to fall. These giant pits that would normally kill us, he's directing us, telling us, go, you'll be fine. I like this idea of an NPC sending us messages, letting us know everything will be okay. Even if you're getting beamed by these death angels and there's more poison, he's like, keep going, keep pushing. And when you get to the first boss, it's a massive drop. And he's like, yeah, bro, you got this. You're good, you got this, you'll be fine. And then 2 bosses appear and I'm sitting there like, I will, Gale. Twin Demon Princes. I like this boss as you have one that will zone you out and one that's close range brawler, but they can switch their roles in an instant and both do the same job. The poison thrower is quite annoying, but he's the one you want to take care of first, because if you're trying to fight the brawler and do damage, but you're having to watch out for the poison attacks, you're gonna have a bad time. Now, the brawler will constantly chase you, but you can run away from him as he just fails like a random beast. So you just kind of run to the poisoner's shot pin. When they switch, you go back because that gives you a lot of time to hit. Now, I was kicking their teeth in until they came back for phase 2. Yeah, this phase 2 was something else. I don't know if I was leveled. I mean, I was only like level 70 at the time. I don't know what it was, but I was getting my ass handed to me. So I was like, yeah, I gotta save this for later. I didn't want to do this now because I did want to save this for the very end of the video, but it's the only thing I could do in the moment, and it's the reason I killed Osiris, was to get to Archdragon Peak, where one boss stands above the rest. This boss is so weird to get to, and it took players forever to discover. You have to emote next to the specific dragon statue with a specific emote you get from killing Osiris. Oh, first things first, we have a gimmick boss to kill. This dragon is very lame. You run around him, you dodge the fire, don't get burned, and then you jump and one-shot it without even trying. So much fun. But I do get summoned after this fight. And I like this area because there's this lady summoning other NPCs to fight each other, and it's like we're trying to fight each other to prove who's worthy. A fight to the death to prove who can truly fight the final boss. And after that, you're right at the bell. I'm told not to ring the bell if I want dragon form, but I don't care. Ding, 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 ding. Hello, hello. Oh, that's why they told me not to ring the bell. But the boss I've been waiting for, Nameless King. Everyone speaks of him as being the true final challenge, the hardest boss in the game, the unbeatable forgotten son of Gwyn, the tamer of dragons. And he's not that hard. Yes, did he kill me a good few times? But he just wants you to be patient. His first phase is his dragon, and this fight is not hard. Got a lot of good few hits in, but you just find when it spits the fire on the ground, you get a lot of charged attacks. It takes a lot of chunks. My only issue is there were a lot of jank hitboxes in this fight. Like, you want to hit the dragon head because it does the most damage, and I can clearly see my sword hitting, but it doesn't respond or trigger. But this fight ain't even supposed to be the challenge. The next fight is where it's truly at. Nameless King. So much fun. His large swings that could cover more than just the whole screen. Lightning to rain from the heavens. But a lot of people say he's the hardest boss, and I'm just like, he's your average Elden Ring boss. Slow attacks with staggers that mix you up. 3 to 4 hit combos, and you just have to dodge with correct timing, like most bosses in the Souls game to come after this. All Nameless King is, you just gotta respect the Nameless King. You just can't get greedy. You gotta respect Nameless King. Yeah, he killed me a few times, but that's because I was greedy. I just have to let him do his 20 hit, 40 hit combos before I get my opening. I was sitting there like, this is the depths people were talking about? Like, this is what people struggled with so much? Like, I'm struggling more with Freed than this. But back to Demon Princes. And Phase 2 was a piece of cake this time. I think Nameless King made me rethink how I played the game. Before I was just mindlessly swinging this sword, but after Nameless King I'm more patiently waiting because they finally got to me. Oh, what I'm doing is not working anymore. I need to change. But that leads us right to the Ring City, and oh, it's so beautiful. I love Dark Souls areas. They always look so cool, but this area is just... oh, it's so nice. Now, it is kind of rough with these ring knights, and also the very first thing you see is hundreds, and I mean hundreds of ruined sentinels sniping you to no escape, making me play Metal Gear to get past this. And further down the water area, oh, they ain't done. I came across someone wearing Dragon Slayer armor, and bro, when I tell you he would not stop chasing me, I would look back and think, oh, I'm safe. And then all I hear, I just hear something over here. Yeah, I'm getting out of here. Run past the dragon, give him the Mufasa treatment. Next boss, I'm gonna be honest, forgot his name. I beat this yesterday, so I don't really know. It's because it's a gimmick fight. It's either an NPC summon or someone else to whoop your ass. Like the monk dude in Demon Souls. Now, I like this, and I don't. It seems like a cop-out, but it's also really cool. But as someone who doesn't play PvP and doesn't build maximize, this bores me. It's really annoying when you actually do get a player and it's just someone min-maxing and they just one-shot you. Right after this, I get to fight my genuine favorite boss in this game. Other than the final, Gale. Man was guiding us, helping us every way, telling us, you won't jump, no balls. And he has lost himself, trying to get pigment for the lady to help save his world, the painted world. Both DLCs were building for this final moment, for an amazing fight. Phase 1, quite easy to learn. When he jumps, dodge in, and that's where you get a lot of good hits. But he is fast, and if you miss time, you are getting hit hard. Phase 2, we're getting real. His non-stop crossbow and his cape pimp slapping us if we don't dodge perfectly. And final phase of this fight, he starts bringing out flying attacks and bringing out skulls. These skulls summon lightning, so make sure you get out, because if you stay too close, you are going to get melted by this lightning. And who allowed this man to hit me with the spin attack, jump mag dump, massive slam combo? Who is letting this man do this? I studied him hard since I was having so much fun. I was fighting him like, that's 3, that's 4, I can dodge that, -2, +3, learning the framing like it was a fighting game. With the final few things, I give Gale's work to the painted girl and can run to the ash and finally finish this world. The flame, the final boss, the cindered one, the power of all who have kindled the flame into one boss, the souls of the cinder. And I love the first phase, and it's different every time. It uses weapons and skills from across game, basic straight sword, coiled sword, magic, and I swear to you, someone here has to be a fan of Tekken. As when the souls of the cinder gets the katana, you cannot tell me this man is not hitting Yoshimitsu combos. Bro, they ain't even trying to hide it. If you pass this first test, a familiar note plays. Oh, of course. The first who kindled the flame. The one who started this all. Gwyn. He's basically the same, except an insta-kill combo, so make sure you watch out for that. When he starts swinging like a madman. But it's the same as DS1. Dodge the jumps and wait for the right time. But the fact that everything comes full circle from DS1 to DS3, the power of Gwyn is still holding on, still holding this world together. Gwyn is still trying to hold on to what little he has left even after death. But if you see the suffering of the world, this mashed together abomination, and the hurt of the final boss, it's just a fusion, a gross amalgamation of everything that came before it. Something that has lost its peak, a shallow version of its old self. You even see it in the armor. It looks like a burnt version of the DS1 box armor, broken through fire. But with all I've seen, Dark Souls 3 has taught me one thing. We have to let go of the world. So let go of things of the past, and we need to accept the change. We can't hold on to what's left. We have to let go. And that's the same with this story. We're letting go of Dark Souls, moving on to the future. That's what this game has taught me. Sometimes things need to be changed. Let go. Yes, it may work out at the start if you don't change things and keep the status quo, but eventually you'll see things crumbling and you'll be forced to take this change. With the Firekeeper, I decide to not kindle the flame once more.
Will dance across the darkness.
And before I go, I do want to be honest. I don't think this game is hard. I don't think any Souls game is hard. And playing this has just made that more clear. These games are just knowledge checks. The game is designed to test if you know what you're doing, if you learn the combos, if you practice, if you're taking it patiently. The game doesn't want you to rush through the game, right? It wants you to take things patiently. It wants you to see where things are. All Miyazaki wants us to do is not speed through his game and complete it, to really experience everything he built. Just to say you did it because you beat it doesn't mean you experienced it. You probably rushed through as quick as you can. He wants us to take our time, explore, learn, to let go of our preconceived thoughts and to let go of the need to just do something, but to just experience.